following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
On this edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr., we welcome PWBA Superstar Rocio Restrepo to the show. She is an international superstar, a decorated collegiate athlete, and a four-time PWBA champion. We can't wait to have Ro on the show, so without further ado, let's get into it. Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. starts now.
Cousin Cinco? Who the is that?
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop.
Hey y'all, Jacob Electric here.
Hey guys, Chuck Ritchie here, formerly of Bowl TV.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Schaefer of track staff at Valley Bowling Center in Waverly, New York.
And you're listening to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Yo, the boys from Straight Up 5, Rad Rob, Dr Ocho, and of course JP Jr.
As you know, JP Jr. used to be introduced as the sexiest man in bowling, and now the world. But he doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. You'll get unfettered access into the mind of one of the most gifted bowlers of this or any other generation.
Strike, and they claim it.
So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Dr Ocho. Dr Ocho. And the incomparable Johnny Petraglia Jr. Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. I am your host, Rad Rob, Rob Francois. This is episode number 164. We have a very special guest, but before we get into all that, let's take a look and see who is in the chat tonight. We got Stangman78. What's going on, brother? We got Crambone. Good evening, sir. Our resident statistician and reporter, Nico Puhar. What's going on, brother? I do. Oh, that's the wrong.
I do.
There we go. There we go. Fat fingered. Sorry. What's going on, Nico? Welcome, everybody. I know Ocho is in the green room, but I don't know where Johnny is. So let's bring in the man with the golden mask. He is the resident doctor of Straight Up 5, the house hack from Howell Lanes, Dr. Ocho. What's going on, Och?
Was that the worst spelling of it? Actually says I do.
I do. Yeah, no, I know.
We're in agreement that EYE should be the first word, right?
Ah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Do.
No,
DEW.
DEW. It's the EY. It's
I do.
That's the problem. Because there's AAH, there's AYH. We got a lot of things. So this is where we haven't even started the. Hey, Rob, look at the sheet. It looks like. Look at my reflection and look at the picture right below. Doesn't it look like I'm the same person?
It does.
You see?
Very athletic.
Except for these, by the way.
Yeah, well. And you wish you were that same. But
he's here. He's doing something right quick here because he had to jump in the pool because it's literally boiling out here. We're trying to make it we're battling the elements, being funny, but also this is what we do. Inside we have chaos with a daughter with a 3-year-old doing a 3-year-old thing. So bring him in. Why don't you, Rob? Way to go, Rob.
What up, JP? What's going on, brother?
I was trying to fix my pool hair due to the 103 degrees of temperature out here.
I managed.
And you've been hot for a while because you told me your pop's AC went out this week. So
yeah. Mom and Dad are struggling, so kudos to them. And in retrospect, thank goodness for the pool, but it's messing with the second greatest hair in the world. I do.
The pool and the humidity too.
That's true.
Are they on blood thinners? Because that helps. When they get older, they're on blood thinners. They don't even notice the heat anymore, I think.
That actually, to tell you the truth, they are. Dad today actually told me on the way here that he wore gloves in the car to steer the car because the steering wheel was too hot. So I respectfully said to Dad, I said, Dad, do me a favor. Don't walk into Howell Lanes wearing your windbreaker and snow gloves when it's 103. People are going to ask me if everything's okay.
Yeah, they're like, how many Eliquis did he take today?
Right.
Right, yeah.
No Geritol, that's for sure.
No Geritol.
Enough about that. I mean, want to talk about pumped from one perspective. This is my friend of 20-something years, dating all the way back to college bowling. And to see her on the PWBA Anniversary Classic in front of that massive crowd a few weeks ago, it's only fitting that we have one of the pioneers of the sport for multiple reasons on our show tonight, Rad Rob. So do what you got to do, brother.
Well, as always, we have a highlight reel for our first-time guest. So let's take a look at the career of Rocio Restrepo. Am I pronouncing that right, by the way? Restrepo? Restrepo?
Why don't you ask her when she comes on?
I will absolutely do that. Take a look at our highlight package.
She just needs a good pin count.
I know, come on.
Just needs 7 to shut out Lee Jane sit on the bench and win her first title.
Seven pins, folks.
She'll take 9. She'll take home the championship. Rocio Restrepo, for the first time in her career, is a winner on the PWBA Tour.
Work hard for this. Come on.
The eye of the tiger early in the match, and now the emotions are coming up for Rocio Restrepo. And she's got a standing ovation because she's won on the PWBA Tour for the first time. What a feeling. The glasses are off. The match is in hand. And she's done it. Helping out Rocio here as the ball rep. 217-185, the final. And history for Rocio Restrepo, her first ever championship. Time to get that trophy.
We have 2 Singapore winners this year, 2 Colombian winners this year. And you're looking at your 2016 PWA Greater Detroit Open champion.
So Rocio Restrepo has won the PWBA St. Petersburg Clearwater Open, defeating the top seed Lindsey Boomershine. For Restrepo, her second this year, and she will make a big move in that Player of the Year race, trying to catch Liz Johnson. Congratulations to Rocio, being a champion for the second time this year.
Needs 5, gets 8. And Rocio Restrepo has won the 2017 Cubica AMF PWBA Sonoma County Open with a victory here over Brandy Branca.
With the utmost amount of confidence, she's one of our most animated and personable players on the ladies' tour. And she won her third title today.
Rocio Restrepo, thumbs up. She's a champion again on the PWBA Tour. Congratulations all around.
Who came through in that 8th frame with a big shot. There she is with Corey Krause, the proprietor of Seminole Lanes, handing her the trophy.
A lot of positive talk, reinforcement. Rocio's known to talk to herself, spare and strike to shut out Liz Culkin.
Big strike. Needs good count for the championship. She'll get 9. She's got a victory in Eagan, Minnesota today. Rocio Restrepo has won her 4th career PWBA Tour title. Congrats to Rocio, overcoming so much in 2018 to earn the victory today here in the Twin Cities. There's 10 pin. First title of 2018 for Rocio. And her second show.
I love you, baby.
Her husband so proud.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Rocio Restrepo. Good evening, Ro. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Rose, such a pleasure to have you here. And on behalf of the entire Straight Up 5 team, thank you for taking time out of your insanely busy schedule for being here today. So thank you so much.
No, I appreciate you guys. And thanks for taking me down that memory path. I was laughing.
Rob, what do you got going on? There's a little bit of a pitch going on here. What'd you do?
Is there a volume issue? I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to it.
What'd you do? Everything was fine. All of a sudden, you took the helm.
I didn't touch anything.
Is it
It's not on us.
Oh, it sounds okay now.
It started again, and we're good. We're good. It was echoing as soon as we're good, man. Rob, way to go,
Okay.
Rob.
Yeah, hey, I fixed it. Thanks. Live TV. That's thanks for being here. I know Johnny was very excited to have you on. So John, just kick it off, buddy.
You know, truthfully, during the intro that you created, Rob, I had a question for our resident Dr. Ocho, because typical me, I go back to where I met this future Hall of Famer that we have with us tonight, and also one of the most endearing people you'll ever meet. But we were talking during your intro about the comeback of 2018, Ro, and Ocho, go right ahead. He wants to take the first question tonight.
You're talking about the hypermobility thing, I assume, because it looks like you have such an extension in your swing that your elbow creates this amazing torque in the opposite direction before you let it go. Now, what people will say, it's called double jointed. Have you heard that? I assume.
Yeah.
That you have no pain when you do that, right?
No, like actually people think that I'm double jointed because Kelly said that I'm double jointed on my left arm, but I'm double jointed on my right arm on my shoulder. So my elbow, like I don't have much pain, like I don't feel anything. I actually just feel like I'm throwing like an egg down the lane pretty much. So I don't have much pain at all. Except for when I was hurt. My pain that I have now is just on my hip, but that was because I fell, but nothing else, to be honest.
No, that's good. I mean, because when it's there's no such thing as double jointed. Again, for people to understand, you don't have two joints, you don't have two olecranon fossa, two olecranon processes, but it's hypermobility of the ligaments, and that puts a strain when you're throwing a rock. Sorry, a helicopter actually just flew over as you were talking too, by the way, because the straight up 5 is so big, we have helicopter banners flying over here. This is no joke. And I didn't control when they were going to do it, but they did it. They're gone now. We're fine. But I mean, it's a curiosity thing because with such strain on the joint, you over time, it's repetitive trauma, and I'm thankful that you don't have any pain. So good on you for that.
No, I actually train a lot. I go to the gym a lot, and I try to just be stronger, I guess. So maybe that's helped a lot just to control that. But I don't really have much pain in that joint.
Great.
Ro, I'm going to feed you right into it. To me, after having watched you for so long, you are the perfect mix of control and soft-spoken opinions when you're off the lanes, but when you're on the lanes, you are fierce. You're digging every single shot, which is one of the coolest things about you, all the way back to the Wichita years. How do you balance that in your brain? Is there some kind of a trigger you have, whether it's going like east to west in your own brain, where you can figure out a way to control both emotions all the time, which we get to see all the time?
I think I'm just really animated myself when I speak, when I'm like just with normal people, and I feel like that translates into my bowling. So what you guys see is just genuinely who I am as a person on an everyday basis, pretty much. But I do say that I like to be really aggressive just because I don't like feeling like I'm not pumped. I like to be moving and jumping, energized, just because that's just who I am. Full of energy. It feels like I'm bowling when I'm competing at the high level. It's just so much fun that I just want to bowl good. So when I'm not doing the right thing, I actually just pump myself in a way, or if I throw a really good shot, I take that into my game just because I'm really passionate. But I guess all these years of working with a psychologist and everything, I know how to control all of that, I guess. But I don't feel like when I'm being aggressive, like I get those super high highs like some people get. Because I'm also a very calm person in the same breath. I don't get really upset when things are not going the right way. I try just to breathe and stay calm. So I think I have a good balance now, and I feel like age has also helped with that. I mean, I'm now a mom, so things are even better because I have more patience than I ever did before.
Yeah, that's hard to control, the fight or flight almost, or the adrenaline rush as your nerves are going when you need 2 in the 10th. I mean, like, taking deep breaths sometimes doesn't cut it, for people. You still have to be able to control it. That's a pretty powerful thing to be able to do, I promise you, people, almost get into a car accident and then be calm in 3 minutes. This is what your fight or flight does. So this is what someone with that kind of ability, plus training yourself that you've been there before, I assume helps. But that's why there's only a certain amount of people that win tournaments and win titles on tour. So again, that's another. Maybe you can learn it, but it's a hard learn. It's certainly not physical. That's all mental right there.
So circling back to that, Rad Rob, sorry to cut you off. So let's dance around the PWBA Anniversary Classic in front of all those fans, and just, was that a reminder of, obviously we know you're decorated, you will be a Hall of Famer, but was that a reminder of the energy from the college years? Like, did it re-spark anything, or like, What was going through your brain in your most recent telecast?
I honestly felt like it was just an insane crowd. Just how the kids were so involved and they were just rooting up like every single one of us, but they were so into it. So it was so easy to fit into the crowd. To me, it did remind me of the college years in a way, but I feel like it's hard to describe the atmosphere because I feel like I've never bowled in something. I've watched Leanne and Kelly and some of the ladies do it, but I had never experienced it myself. And just to when I was looking at some pictures, you look so tiny and so small in such a big stadium, but what you felt is like all the light is on you and this is your time to shine, um, and just throw the best shots you can do. Obviously my outcome wasn't winning the event, but what I got with me was this is something that I'm going to talk about for a long time, and hopefully one day I can tell my daughter how I got there, how hard it was, and how many years it took me to get back on TV. uh, but I have never been on live TV because I've always been on the recorded telecast. I've been so close on the shows and I haven't gotten there. So when I got there, I was like, I want to do this more. I want to be on TV more often. So it was really cool. And I hope that bowling, professional women's bowling, gets more of that as well.
You're muted, John.
I can't
Johnny,
hear
you're muted, buddy. That's Ocho's fault.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Now ask me if I can repeat what I just said. Absolutely no chance. But Ro, no, everything you just said and what I was trying to say while the mic was muted was our sport is just like any other sport. I don't care about men or women, but this one especially, as far as the talent when it comes to the ladies in our sport, is second to none. The control you guys exert while you're on the lanes, and I'm going back to when I used to practice with legends in the game like Liz Johnson, Marianne DeRubo, and Kelly Kulick, just to name a few. And then I go back to the college years with you, between you, Clara Guerrero, just to name a few from the team that I got to learn so much from. But another question that I have for you, Rob, before I pass this to you, is what is your biggest issue when it comes to bowling? Like, we have a lot of people here that'll say, oh, I thumb it down. I throw it too hard under pressure situations. How do I handle X, Y, and Z? What do you do when somebody who is emotional and wants to drag that ball over the 1 yard line for a touchdown for retrospect purposes? Like, what do you do to calm yourself down when you're in a spot where things just aren't working?
I actually work.
And also, real quick, bro, move.
Yes.
As beautiful as those flowers are, come a little bit closer to the microphone. Just
Can
because
you hear me there?
the accent's fabulous enough, but
Okay.
I'm like this, and I don't want you to think I'm stalking you.
Okay. I
That's
mean,
fine.
I speak really soft, so that's probably an issue.
Perfect.
So I've worked with a lot of psychologists throughout my career. I have had access to a psychologist since I was 12 years old, sports psychologist. And it's always been about what did I do? What didn't I do that I should have done that I had control of? So, for example, that's when I'm doing like the end of the tournament. Okay, I fell in this aspect. I was maybe too rushed. I didn't control the pace, or the pace changed and I wasn't prepared for it. But when I am in the heat of the battle, I try to just slow myself down. So I really try to breathe, um, take a minute to just bring myself back to the present and not think, like, just watch what my brain is thinking. Because sometimes your brain is going ahead of yourself, like it's thinking, what if I make it? What if I don't make it? Or if I throw this shot, or I want it to be done, or, like your brain is just, is this over? And I try to just tell myself, you gotta throw every single shot. Don't look at the scores. Control what you can control, and try to enjoy yourself right in this moment, because tomorrow is not for sure. I mean, I've been through so many heartbreaks in the past few years with my bowling, and when something is taken away from you unexpectedly, I when you get back and you start doing it right, you remember why you started doing it in the first place. So I haven't won in a while, but I don't feel like I can get there again. I feel like I can. It's just a matter of certain things falling into place, but also me chasing it and doing the right things at the right time. So every time I perform this season, when I see something is wrong, I talk to my coach, like Fred Borden. I talk to my psychologist, and I just try to see, where did I fail? What can I do better? I don't know if that, I mean, I went around a little bit, but it helps when it comes to um, just trying to stay in the moment and do the best I can do when things are not going my way, sorry.
It's a perfect answer because it's real. And what's crazy is you find a coach, and like you just mentioned, Fred Borden. That's the same person that my dad thanked when he bowled 300 on TV in 1994.
Yep.
As well as Ray Edwards and a few others. But I distinctly remember going to Stonehenge in Akron and working with Freddie when I was in my late teenage years. And he taught me very similar things to what you're saying right now. And we go through this all the time. Rad Rob, I'm going to pass this to you. I mean, you hear it all the time when you're bowling in just basic league. You hear it in tournaments. Oh, this condition wasn't suitable for guys that do this. It wasn't this. It wasn't that. And we hear all of the reasons why shit, respect my language, bro, is not working. But in the same respect, if you're willing to listen to the shit that's going to make you better, then you may as well take it. I mean, my dad's a legend. I wouldn't know anything about bowling if it wasn't for him. And I happen to live up the road from Parker Bone III. In case you guys don't know who that is, he's a really, really good lefty. But like, that's what I mean is that you listen to the best in the world, and this is the kind of stuff they're talking about. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead.
What was it the last several years? You mentioned having heartaches coming to bowling. What happened after your initial couple of years?
So basically in 2018, I was training really hard in the gym. Like I said, I'm into fitness. I like to stay in shape. And then I didn't realize it, but I had some issues with kidney stones because of the proteins that I was taking, getting dehydrated from traveling. Although I drank a lot of water and everything, I was just, I suddenly got sick. And then I got sick with kidney stones, and the doctors could not figure it out for a while. Then obviously that was affecting me. Anyone that's had a kidney stone in their life knows that is not the most fun thing in the world. But I've always had this issue where I can't grade my pain high enough. So they don't know what's going on, so they don't take me seriously. I literally was bowling Queens in 2018 and had an infection, a kidney. I had a UTI due to a kidney stone.
Yeah.
And the doctor was going to send me home, and I had to tell him, I'm throwing up. I literally can't keep anything down. I think this is not just cramps. I think this is more than just that. I feel like I have found out later on, now that I've been having issues here. Sometimes as a Latino woman, you're not taking as serious when you go to the doctor than if I was like a white person. And I never thought of that because obviously I'm Colombian.
Sure.
And if I go to the doctor and I tell them, oh, I have pain, they take me seriously. But things are a little different here. So I had to start throughout this whole issue, I had to go to different doctors. I had different issues because of the kidney stones. I had to get it removed in 2019. Then I had issues after the surgery. I started falling right after the surgery. I fell like 3 times, um, hit my head, and all these different things that obviously I never posted anywhere because I didn't know what was going on at the time. And then as I was feeling better, I kept having pain. Well, this was 2020. So in 2020, I got really inflamed for no reason. And it's obviously we had COVID, so our training has changed. I was part of the national team of Colombia. I've been for 20 some years. And that year they were asking us because we couldn't travel and stuff. They were asking for us to train every single day at home, to do all these different things. And I feel like my body got to a place where it overreached because I was just training so hard at home, and I was also practicing because I had access to a bowling alley. And during this process, I fell while I was practicing. I could not let go of the bowling ball, and I tore my hip labrum. And I went again to the doctor, and I told him, "Well, I got pain. I got pain from here to here, but I graded at like 6 when I really had like 9. My pain was
Right.
like 9." And he said, "Well, just do physical therapy. You'll be fine." And here I am into 2021 with a ton of pain after this series in Dallas. I said to my husband, Joe, I'm like, I just can't do this. I can't wear any like high heels, even if they were super tiny. I'm not into heels, but if I wear boots, it hurt. If I train, it hurt. I couldn't lift. I couldn't do a lot of things. So I went to the doctor, and they finally did an MRI, and they told me, you have a tear in your labrum. You should be limping. People that have what you have come in walking with a walker, and you're telling us you're bowling and doing all these things. So I actually bowled that whole season in 2021. I skipped some events,
Wow.
but 2021, my last event was the US Open, and I recall crying at the end of the event because I was limping so bad, and I shouldn't have went, but it was a prize fund of 100,000. I'm like, I have to go. I have to just and then I was getting paid by my country to bowl that event because I hadn't bowled in quite a while, and I couldn't get my surgery yet. So I said, well, I'm gonna give it a try. Sure enough, I could not really walk. It was really painful towards the end, and 3 weeks later, I had my hip surgery, and I was out for 8 months. And during this process, I've been a member of the national team for 23 straight years or something like that. They turned their back on me and got me out of the program. So I was left alone with an injury trying to recover. Um, and then I was thankful that my state, because we represent different states in my country, they stay behind me. They supported me. They continue to pay me because that's all I do for a living. So when they removed that, I lost a ton of support and to support my family as well.
Yeah.
So it was painful because when you give your whole life to a team and they just, kind of didn't care at the time. So it was hard, but then I feel like everything just got clear in my head that I wanted to get back, but I also wanted to start a family part of the reason why I had the surgery done was so I could become a mom.
Yeah.
Because I was getting older, and I'm like, I don't want to wait until they tell me, oh, you're too old to have a baby. So I wanted to get it done. And I'm glad I did because it's the best thing I ever did for my hip. Obviously, the whole process was hard recovering. And it actually, when I got pregnant, when I got back to bowling, it was harder than when I had been recovering from the surgery because everything shifts in your body. and you become more flexible and all these different things. I gained a ton of weight. So it was just a shock for my body, I felt like. And I had to change my physical game to be able to adapt. So when I was on tour last year, I was like, I felt like I was bowling in a different body. I didn't know what to do. I had to hold the ball completely different. So this past year, I've been kind of rebuilding my game and relearning my physical game, but also adapting it to the new environment, because I feel like this is the perfect time to get rid of some bad habits that I have, to get better tempo, to get better footwork. And Fred and I worked pretty hard the past 2 months as well while I was on tour. So I forgot to say that during my pregnancy, I was doing okay. And I kept telling the doctors that I felt really bloated. And this is how I found out that sometimes as a Latino woman, they don't pay attention to what you're saying at the doctors. Well, I ended up having preeclampsia towards the end. I had to be induced. I was in labor for a very long time, and this could have all been prevented if they had believed that I was getting swollen, that it was a sign that I had something going on. And then when I had the baby, I almost died in the hospital because my blood pressure got super high. So here I am I just had a baby. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm in the ICU. They have me for like a whole week in the hospital, and then I come home with super high blood pressure. I've never been that sick in my life. I didn't know what to do, and then I'm navigating this whole new mom, not sleeping very good. So it's been quite like the crazy thing going on with my health, but I feel like we are in a better place now. I'm finally just getting better, so I can focus more on my bowling.
Wow, that's quite a lot, Johnny.
Yeah.
Ro, let me be the first to say thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was the world's a better place with you here, and God bless your beautiful baby. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. Rob?
That's quite the ordeal that you had to go through, and to come back stronger like you did, at the anniversary show. That's a good thing. That shows that you're going in the right direction. You're moving towards getting back to where you used to be, which is harder as we get older. I mean,
Can we change the realm there based off what you just said? Because despite all that, still badass as you know what,
right?
More than ever.
Yeah, I mean, you look fantastic. So obviously, you're getting back into game shape. Obviously, your hip is better, and getting the pregnancy weight off, and kind of finding your way, navigating through life. I'm 49 years old. My daughter's will be 7 in a couple of weeks. I waited a long time to have a kid, and it's a huge adjustment, especially for you. Traveling all the time and being a professional bowler, it can't be easy to juggle both.
And Ro, what I will say, just because you were so transparent, Mom, I know you're watching, but I have to say it in retrospect. My mother miscarried before me, and the doc told her chances of survival if she ever got pregnant were slim to none. And then my mom bore 11-pound, 3-ounce
11
stud right here in
Legend.
1984, and then
Wow.
followed it up with my sister 6 years later at a beautifully awesome, healthy weight. And now my sister is pregnant, and I'm going to be an uncle for the first time. So miracles happen every single day as long as you have the willpower and the desire. And God's always looking down on you, right? So
yeah.
Like I said, I had to at least throw a couple things in there because you gave us everything just now, and it's not often that you freeze the entire staff. I know if Ocho was here, he'd be in the exact same boat as us. So again, thank you, and man, dude.
No, thank you for letting me share that. I don't think I had the opportunity to talk about it, but I also wasn't quite ready to just unpack all of that because I was waiting for myself to just be ready to talk. Because you don't think that you experienced some of trauma, and you just kind of, I mean, you distance yourself from the sport, and when you come back, you feel like, am I still here? Am I like you feel completely different when you become a mom as well. So, and after going through all of that, you feel like, am I still relevant? And then I had to tell myself, it doesn't matter because you're not here to impress anyone. You're here because you love this so much and you're trying to make a difference in the world through your gift that you have. So just enjoy it, and if it happens, it will be great. And if it doesn't, um, you are giving it all. So you have no regrets. You've tried everything.
Johnny, just stop muting yourself.
I'm at Ocho's house and
No, I know.
driving by, and I'm
It's
trying to
loud.
listen to the accent and the
appreciate it.
awesomeness at the
I
same
appreciate
time. So I keep muting. Ro, obviously, you're an athlete. You love the gym. You're a gym rat, and I know your work ethic. You had to be good in other sports. Remember, I've never been to Colombia. I hope I said that right. What was it? Were there any other options for sport, or did you just fall in love with bowling? And if so, why or why not?
I'm sure soccer is right up there, right?
No. Fun fact, I did not like any sports. I
Wow.
was actually very chubby when I was like 13 years old. I decided that I love Hershey bars and um, chips.
Yes. Yes.
I used to hide in my room and eat them until my
Yes.
sister found me one day, and that had to stop because I was stealing money from my dad. This is really bad. I had an awakening moment in my life, and my dad was like, well, you're taking your sister's money out of the piggy bank, you're getting yourself in trouble, you're eating too much, now we gotta put you on a diet, uh, and we just need to stop this whole thing. So obviously I feel bad, and I hit a year where, you know, like I started losing weight, you know, I'm getting into the adolescence now, and I'm like, well, I guess if I want to fit these jeans and I want to look prettier, da 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 da. So I started training, but this happened alongside with bowling. So bowling actually, I feel like, came and helped me become an athlete. So the moment I started bowling, my parents always told me whatever I did in my life, just try to be the best at it. So I used to be, before I bowl, I love instruments, I love music. So I used to play the violin. And I remember that I might not have been the best at reading music, but I always had a lot of emotion when I played. So I remember that every time I played the violin, um, the whole place will go silent. Like everyone will stop and listen. So there was something that I had. Um, so I love music then, but I was put in a position when I became really good in bowling that I had to choose between the two, and there was a no-brainer. I chose bowling because that was the only sport that I enjoy. I tried tennis, I tried golf, I tried swimming. Swimming wasn't my forte because I didn't like swimming suits because I was a little chubby, so I didn't want to get in the pool. I like basketball, but obviously I'm not very tall, so I knew that that might not be in my best interest to pursue that. So I was not into sports, and no one in my family was into sports. No one ball besides me, because my parents are all into being educated. So my parents are both lawyers, and my sister is a brain surgeon, and I'm the professional bowler. So, yeah, but I love bowling
Two
so much.
completely respectable professions. But Ro, go back to music for a second, because here's my follow-up, because I know what kind of emotion goes with music. I'm a singer. I sing to singing, actually. Everybody always talks about 1 second. Guy. guy on the motorcycle. He's too loud. We are talking Rocio. When it comes to music, I fall into music. It's my entire life. When I sing, I forget about everything that's around me, and I'm also emotional on the bowling lanes. Do you ever find yourself relating the two? Like, did you play violin? Like, when you're getting ready to snap it, like go after it after being gentle on it. I'm assuming the same way my buddy Dave plays guitar or anybody else that's into music, they feel something deeper. They feel a connection with themselves. Do you feel that way on the lanes too? Do you think it translated at all? Because it doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily have to be another sport. I mean, anything that you're dedicating your entire soul into in that very moment, I would assume is going to translate into the same thing at the end, right?
yeah, I actually, obviously, someone was asking if I still play the violin. I don't, because I stopped and it was so hard on me that I suddenly stopped. Because when they made me choose, I was like, why are they doing this to me? And they made me angry. So I actually haven't played the violin for many years. But I did try to learn to play the guitar and singing. So usually what I do before a match or before I compete and stuff or after is I listen to a lot of different music, whichever genre I'm into at the moment. It can go from Christian music to reggaeton in 2 seconds, but um, um, it does help me in bowling for sure. Because I remember when I worked a few years ago with one of my psychologists, they used to tell me to sing to relax myself, or just to think of a song in my brain that will bring some type of relaxation into me, or if I need to get pumped
Rhythm, right?
or whatever. So I kind of pick something, and it does help for sure.
That was always the same for me too. And my dad's coach, you were talking about Fred Borden. When my dad was very, very young, my dad's coach was the famous Andy Verapapa. And if anybody still has this on VHS, go back and watch Bowling the Perfect Game, where they interviewed legends like Ray Bluth, Andy Verapapa, Chris Schenkel, Bo Burton commentated it, Earl Anthony, God rest his soul, Dick Weber, same. But Andy Verapapa, one of the things he said in the video was he'd be walking to school as a young boy and he would pick up a piece of ice on the sidewalk and like throw that piece of ice down the sidewalk just to develop rhythm when he was outside of the bowling alley. And he would match it with that kind of a flow. And we've talked to several bowlers that try and do that. And in your case, I'm the same way. I can go anywhere in my radio from Bob Marley to Sam Cooke to Powerwolf as a Christian metal band. Like I can go anywhere. And whatever's happening, it's like if I'm listening to something strong like Guns N' Roses, but I got to gear it down a little bit, maybe I'll switch to like a Stand By Me or something a little bit gentler to quiet down my feet. And again, it's always relatable, right, Rad Rob? I mean, anything you could do to get your brain in the right mindset for the execution of your livelihood in Rose's case, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we all do it, whether it's bowling or going to the gym or something. Something about music just kind of, I don't know, just kind of straightens our brain out, right? Like it's hard to explain. There are times where if I'm bowling, I'll listen, and I got a big match coming up, whatever. I'll listen to Pantera and just you get in that mood. But then if I'm too overexcited or if I'm too nervous, then I will switch my playlist like Johnny, and I'll slow it down. So it's funny what music does to people, and to see Amanda said the same thing. A lot of people do that to either pump themselves up or slow themselves down. So, how has being a mother kind of thrown a wrench into your plans professionally? Did that slow you down, or obviously we were talking before we went on air that you dropped your daughter off for 3 weeks back home in Colombia, and then flew out to get her after bowling to Lucy, and then now you're back. So Obviously, you're trying to manage both. How difficult has that been to kind of walk that line between mom and pro bowler?
Well, it's been really hard. I'm not gonna lie. Last year was really tough because I took her to some of the stops with me. Um, and I was still breastfeeding her, so it was just too much. Even when I was on the road without her, I had to still
Yeah.
pump and stuff. This is a lot of info, but
That's real life.
it's part of being a mom. And I chose the route of breastfeeding just because it helped me as well. Because when you have high blood pressure, when you breastfeed, it helps regulate your blood pressure. So I did it for her and for myself as well. And I just was seeing a lot of kids just get sick super easy with just being with formula. And I didn't like the texture of the formula and stuff. So I was like, why would I give that to her? So no, let's just keep trying. But it was really hard on me. I'm not going to lie. Actually, last year I was debating if I was going to continue bowling just because last year was absolutely horrendous on tour. It's my worst season ever. I would miss every cut and I just didn't like it. I was like, I don't deserve to be bowling because I never feel like that's the case. But I'm like, am I that bad now that I can't even make a top 12, top 16 cut? But my body was going through a lot and I wasn't sleeping very good. I was already getting so tired and I couldn't take a lot of different things to help my body just because I was breastfeeding as well. So a lot of those things just went out of the window. I couldn't even take medication if I was sick because I had to consult with the doctor first if I'm able to do it. So it was just really hard. Plus, you're also going through hormonal changes throughout that whole thing. So it was just difficult. And I think it was harder for me just because you hear this whole thing in our industry. Oh, when they get pregnant, they can bowl and they bowl better. And I'm like, here, I can bowl. When I was pregnant, I was too big. It just was so hard to bowl. And then you have your baby and you think, oh, I'm gonna bounce back pretty quick, and I'm not bouncing back quick. My body actually went into this mode where as soon as I delivered her, I started gaining weight because I didn't put much weight because it was all water weight when I was pregnant with her. So then it's like your body is just not reacting like you want. So it was difficult. And then I don't have family in the US. My mom and dad are in Colombia and they help me as much as they can, but they're also not 20 years old. They're 71 and 70. So for me to ask them to watch a toddler, sometimes it's really hard on them. So I try not to not depend on them as much. And here in the US, we don't have daycare just yet because she's not potty trained. She's not really. I mean, she talks and everything, but I didn't feel safe just taking her to a daycare just yet. And so that has put a little bit of um, a delay, I think, in my game and how I prepare, just because I've been so dedicated to it. And I also used to compete a lot. So for like a whole, after like last year, I only competed in 2 events before the tour started. And usually by the time a season was coming on, I had already bowled a lot of amateur events, even PBA regionals. But I've always said that when I became a mom, I really wanted to enjoy my time with my baby because it goes by really quick. And family is my priority, has always been. I told my husband I want to be a really good mom because I know bowling I might not get a chance with her in the future, but with bowling, I know it's going to be there. I do want to do a lot of things in my career because I feel like I still can, but I don't want bowling to just be everything in my life. And because I have dedicated so much to it, and when you go through hardships and organizations that kind of, you know, you give everything, but then when you are in your lowest, you don't feel the support, then it's like, okay, my family has been there through every single thing. So I feel like that's the most important thing in my life. So I'm doing that with my baby, and I want her to. I'm building core memories, not just for her, because now that I became a mom, I feel like these younger years are mainly for you to remember. Because I don't remember a lot when I was that little, but I'm pretty sure my parents do. So I'm trying to just like in bowling, I'm trying to be present. I actually keep my phone away so I can be with her. Um, because once she goes to daycare and then she goes to school, my time with her will be minimal, and I want to make the most impact in her life so she can go in the world and be a great human, and she can treat people with kindness. And I feel like that can only be learned through the house in a way. And how I raise her, I want her to make a difference, and to do that I want to show up for her.
Physiologically, you made the right decision
So
too,
it's been
because
hard, but it's
even
been
even you know,
very fun.
breastfeeding alone is, like you said about formula. They don't really give it's called IgG antibodies, and that boosts their immune system. They cannot get that. Formula is good, but they cannot get that from formula. They get it from breast milk, and that's why to make that decision to deplete your body is still going to be worth it for your baby in the long run. I promise you that. And but it does deplete you. It drains you. You're now, you've sacrificed so much between the pregnancy, and now your hormone levels are off. Your estrogen, progesterone are way off. Sometimes the cortisol gets super increased because of it. So that's why you'll notice, like, when you think you bounce back, no, your body has now produced an abundance of cortisol to balance with what has transpired in your body. It's a trauma. It's a trauma technically, but it's an amazing trauma, and that's how life goes on. But the fact that you did breastfeeding, it's going to be worth it. I promise you, 1,000%, because you're giving her those antibodies. Him or her? What the hell was it?
Her.
So you're giving her. So I have a daughter
Sophia.
as well, and I didn't breastfeed, but we had someone else that did, and she would get discouraged if she couldn't pump. And I said, "Look, you're giving her life right now. You're giving her immune system boosting antibodies. This is your IgG antibodies. It's wonderful, even the slightest bit. So it's so well worth it. That's how evolution started. We didn't have formula 150 years ago, so you did it right, and the sacrifice is going to be well worth it in the long run. I promise you that from the bottom of my anatomical heart.
Yeah, I mean, my wife did the same thing. She, in fact, she'd even use breast milk. My wife would use breast milk, like if she got a bruise or a cut. I mean, it would literally wipe it out like that. Like, it had just such healing properties. It's amazing. Plus, you have that bonding.
It's called the colostrum. It's what it is. It's called the colostrum. And it also, like, it'll. It's not in the later stages. It usually shouldn't be in, but in the early stages, it's definitely there. There's healing properties,
and plus you get that bonding time too with your daughter.
Of course. I
mean, that's.
I got plenty.
And my daughter loved it. I mean, she breastfed until she was about 3, but I mean, that was just their special time, and it did. We went through COVID with that, and she never got sick. I mean, neither of them got sick. It was pretty remarkable what the body does to
Rob, you should have breastfed. You wouldn't have gotten sick. Obviously, you got COVID 18 times already. I think
I did. I don't even know why I'm still breathing. You missed earlier.
He's not.
He's not wrong. You missed earlier about complications that Ro was talking about through having kidney stones and super high blood pressure, and
that's what I was trying.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's
for her labrum and was still bowling.
And she's hardcore athlete in the gym.
I mean, the high blood pressure sometimes isn't too uncommon, but the kidney stones, my gosh, because that's going to really throw things off.
Well, the blood pressure came about with the pregnancy. I almost died after I gave birth.
Oh, this wasn't during pregnancy. I thought this was.
I had preeclampsia. Yeah. But kidney stones came about because I have this. Obviously, when I get sick, I choose the rarest thing in the world. So I had one of the most rare kidney stones as well.
Congrats.
So like 5% of the population get what I had. So they didn't know why I was
It wasn't
forming
just
them
uric
and
acid
whatever. So I
crystals or
had to
anything like that. Like
completely
usually
stop.
uric acid crystals is what we call for a kidney stone. But you managed to be an anomaly somehow.
Yeah, very rare. And what happened is obviously I was taking protein shakes, and at some point I started taking creatine, uh, but my body just did not react very well to it. So there for a long time, I had to avoid proteins and different things just because they didn't know what was causing it. And I had to go through a lot of testing for that as well. And now I'm slowly adding supplements, but I'm making sure that I don't
How many
depend on
grams were
them.
you
So
taking a
I
day? Do you
choose
remember?
to eat.
Of protein.
No, I wasn't taking more than 120.
And every 3 hours ish, I
But I was
guess.
training a lot.
And
yeah, I used
My,
yeah.
Go ahead.
My question was when you said you reintroduced supplements, because remember, I know I don't look like it now, but I did try this for like 6 years, and I'll get back to it. Are you slowly reintroducing things like branched chain aminos or essentials? Are you doing anything with glutamine or creatine? I have a very dear friend whose daughter, I actually diagnosed her this weekend out on the boat and said, honey, you're a weightlifter and you're out on the boat with your friends in this 100-degree heat, and you're taking creatine as one of your supplements, which usually means you have to double your H2O intake from, at this case, maybe 200
It's straight
ounces
dehydration
as
for
100.
one, and then cramping, and then
But
not
like-
to mention the strain on the kidneys also.
But are you trying, just because I know your figure and I know your athleticism, are you reintroducing things as gentle as that? Are you trying to bring in glutamine, carnitine? Like, what are you trying to do?
So when I talk about it, because I don't, I bowl for Colombia still now, and I went back and try out and made the team, so I'm back. So we are not allowed to take anything that can possibly be the banned substances. So I've never really used a lot of different things because they could potentially cause, or we can potentially test positive if the lab is not approved. So we only have certain things that we can take. So although I'm allowed to take creatine and amino acids and stuff like that, I have chosen. So I was very low on my protein at some point because I was scared, and it was hard for me to eat uh, a lot of protein just because. I like yogurt and stuff, like Greek yogurt, but when I eat too much of it, my stomach hurts and stuff like that. So I was getting bored of just eating chicken, steak, eggs, like just those type of proteins. So I'm slowly adding protein bars here and there, and just trying to do different things. Just add a little more at a time. To see how my body reacts, but I'm not taking. I tried to take creatine a couple months ago, and I started feeling sick, so I'm not taking it anymore. I had some digestive issues, so I was like, well, I guess we're not gonna give it a try anymore. So I'm only on like protein shakes here and there, and um but nothing else really.
The creatine's very hit or miss anyway with how much water it holds in your muscle, which the cramping will start. There's usually like a phase where like, okay, I'm overdoing it, so my legs are cramping a little bit, and then you almost have to back off. But it's still very hit or miss depending on what your activities are. If you're bowling or exercising and doing other things, then it's almost it's a crapshoot. If you were simply exercising in the gym, you could time it in, but then you're going to go bowl 10 games working accessory muscles that never get touched at the gym unless you're doing your normal lunges and things like that. So Now it's now you're talking the crapshoot. So that's the hard one to dial in. So you didn't do anything wrong. It's just that's a hard one to factor.
Well, hang on real quick, because this is a question for me now also. When you do start creatine, typically the preload phase, they'll tell you to take 20 grams for the first week.
Power up and...
Yeah, right. Fine. Which you don't have to do anymore based off of whatever new science has been introduced, just like bowling. But if you're only taking the 5 mgs a day, no matter where you stick it, whether it's pre-workout, post-workout, with breakfast, in your orange juice, doesn't matter. Does it really affect it that much?
Depending on what your activities are, for sure, because it's holding muscle it's holding water in the muscle, and it's holding the muscle that has been exercised, that's had resistance to it. So now it's like if you did a full body workout, where's it going to go? Where's the water going to go? Where's the water going to hold?
Why aren't you still anabolic for, say, 90 minutes afterwards?
At a minimum. At a minimum.
If you were to take your 5 grams after and then still
but then you go bowling
with the water, but then you go bowling.
And that's what it is. It's not getting the water. That's what it is. You're missing. So you have to phase it. And that's what it's hit or miss. That's why it's hit or miss. Because now you might have exercised some other muscles and they're like, well, shit, where's mine? So anyways.
And this is the kind of stuff you get on Straight Up 5. I'm teaching myself something. Thanks, Ro.
It's a true story.
And you did nothing wrong either. That's the thing. Don't worry about that. But it's just dialing it in is the hard part, and sometimes it is making a hit or miss. So
I think also with a lot of those supplements, people don't realize. I mean, my husband Joe, his dad used to be a power lifter, and he used to train bodybuilders, so he understood the science behind all of that. And I knew it too, but it was just hard to get enough water, especially when I was traveling. It didn't matter if I was eating the right things or whatnot. When you put your body through all those games, especially the women's tour, people didn't realize the first few years of the women's tour, we used to bowl 32 games in 2 days to win a title. And then you have 3 days at home and bowl the next 32 games the next week. And I was bowling for the first 3 years on tour. I was bowling pretty much every game. And we also have like 2 practices because we have the practice session on Thursday, pro-ams, and then the next day we had practice session in the morning. I was showing up to the practice session. So my body was going through a ton of stress, and you don't think that you're going through that, but you are. And I feel like now that we're getting older, a lot of the ladies that started the tour, I have seen more injuries in those the last few years, just because the load is so much. There's nothing to compare it to. Like when we bowl 36 games and you're bowling every week, and there's no much time in between, it's so easy to overwork. And if your body's not prepared, you're going to have injuries and you're gonna get hurt as well.
That's spot on. And then you throw in, oh, I had a bad week where I'm pressing even harder, or you're struggling to get a check, or whatever the case may be. And that's all the little intricacies that people miss in any sport. But respectfully, Ro, the thing, and I said that stone sober, not typical Johnny with the shit. You saw that. Yes, I did it once. But you've combated it your entire bowling career, and you seemingly do it with the same face, the same confidence, the same control all the time, which I have to just give you straight kudos for that, because that's amazing. Everybody is at some point triggered by something, and for as long as anybody that's watched you perform, you are the same person all the time. And that's the coolest thing about it, is somehow you've harnessed all of these issues, and for whatever reason, whoever your saving grace is says this one is supposed to be here, setting the tone for people to follow. And you've done that. And I can definitely tell by the chat tonight on this show. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, she's remarkably resilient, having to go through everything that she went through with the kidney problems and the infections, and then falling down, hitting her head. I mean, that's also Ocho can tell you the brain's a very, very sensitive thing, and it's any jarring of it. Yeah, that's
Well,
why he went.
I mean, and also, let's say you jar it once, then the least amount of jarring next is gonna do the same effect. It's like taking a paper clip and unfolding it and trying to put it back together. It don't happen.
You know what? I'll make it relatable for our viewers for strictly bowling.
Or a bowling ball hitting so many times. Go ahead.
Again, I'm going back to Dad. 1978, my dad had the front 11 in the Long Island Open against Mark Roth with his coach Andy Verapapa watching. $10,000 and a new Mercury Cougar if he threw the next one for 300. Dead yanked it, left it 2-4. 26 years later, or whatever the number is, in 1994, I asked my dad after he actually threw the 12th one to shoot 300 for $100,000 and send me and my sister to college. What was going through your mind on that last shot? He said, I remember the 298 in 1978. I remember exactly what not to do. Resilience was a word somebody brought up. It's the reminder to yourself. It's the beauty inside, and we all have it.
It's innate.
At some extent, we all have that. And like we've said from day one, Rad Rob, we always try and bring people that have that. Yes. One of my idols of all time popped in tonight just to say hi to Ro, and that's Carolyn Doran Ballard, which, by the way, has the longest consecutive strike streak on television to this day, throwing a wild thing. Let's go, CDB. That's the beauty of sport and the power of the brain. That's at least how I feel about it.
Well, we're glad you're back on track, Ro, and hopefully moving forward. I know you still want to balance.
I'm still nuts.
You want to balance being a mom and being a pro, but I mean, hopefully you'll find that kind of.
He said rowing, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Hopefully you can find that balance.
I feel like now, the thing that I was feeling like I was missing was why. There for a minute, it was like a fine line. I couldn't really see it because when I first went out on tour, I was so determined and like winning and this, but I was also at a completely different phase in my whole life. And I still enjoyed it a lot, but it's so easy, so much easier when you're going through the good times. But it's when you started struggling, trying to redefine that purpose and kind of find yourself again. And I had lost some of that because I felt discouraged, like when COVID happened and with my injury and just fighting, for myself, because the doctors weren't listening. So it was tough because you feel like, the language makes it hard sometimes to kind of explain what you're going through. Yep. Although I feel like I don't speak the words English in the world, I try my best. But trying to put into words what you're feeling is just difficult. Or sometimes you're dismissed because they don't think that, they think you're spoiled and maybe, she's fine, but I wasn't. So then the past few years have been, okay, let's go back. Why do we do this? And then every time I go out there, I do have my bad moments where I'm like, oh, why am I doing this? But then I question myself and I cry. Like, people don't see those things. I cry when I don't bowl as good as I want. Not every single time, of course, but if I'm struggling and I don't see the picture or whatever, I just obviously talk to my husband a lot. I'm like, okay, why is this happening again? Or what can I do better? And then he always brings me back. We're doing this. He's like super supportive with me. So I'm like, okay, he sees something that sometimes I feel like I don't see in myself. So I'm like, okay, if I try to look at myself through someone else's eyes. And then when I do that, I'm like, why would I like them to see? And so that also makes me kind of work harder because I'm trying to make an impression, because I don't really care about that. It's just I want people to feel welcome and they feel good. when they have an interaction with me as well. I want to make an impact in their life. And I'm like, how can I do that? Through bowling. And it's just by being my genuine self. So if I don't get too worked up at home doing certain normal things, why should I get so worked up when I bowl? Although I love this, it's a sport, I should be enjoying it more than I do. So that's been like one of the things I have told myself over and over and over. And I feel like now when I perform is also more about trying to figure out what the puzzle is that I'm missing when I'm competing. Because that keeps my brain thinking of what I can do better. So it keeps me entertained, and bowling doesn't become just about I'm gonna win or I'm gonna do that. Is about the process of getting there. And I feel like now more than ever, I'm more up to the challenge. Um, like in any other, I feel like in other career, you'll be like, well, my boss gave me this to do, so I'm going for it. Or when you are like a business person, something goes in front of you and you're trying to do something about it, but you can't sit and whine and complain. You actually have to go into action. So I feel like I'm doing that myself with my bowling, and it feels better when I'm competing, and it's so much easier to remain calm because I'm like, I tell myself it's not supposed to be that easy. Otherwise, everyone will do it. So just keep working, keep getting there. You'll get there again. You've been there, you have nothing to prove. Just enjoy the ride, because when you get there, it'll be worth it. So I just keep telling myself that every single time I show up. I don't know how long it's going to take. I know it took me a long time to become a world champion, although I've been in that atmosphere and I have won multiple things. There was one thing in my career that I didn't have at some point, and then when that happened, it just kept happening, and I'm like, well, see, you just gotta keep grinding, it will happen.
For everybody that watches our show that ever second guesses himself at any time, please rewind this show back for the last 3 minutes or whatever it was. That was so beautifully spoken and so true, and anybody can relate to it. I knew you were going to be awesome tonight, you badass mofo. I had to at least once.
Before we let you go, we do have a question from one of our favorite pro shop operators, Alex Bermudez from Modesto, California. What was the process when you were adjusting your fit and pitches in the middle of the PWBA tour and eventually won your first tournament, which was remarkable?
I was changing a pitch. I don't remember that. Hold on.
Alex Bermudez comes from the drill press in Modesto, California. So perhaps maybe you worked with him out there at some point. But at some point, did you ever screw around with your fit and your pitches?
I do, but not really.
Okay.
Well, the one time I did, I guess in 2018, I changed my thumb pitch because I was just a little, it's like struggling a little bit. So I decided to drill a thumb with a little bit more pitch. Because I have reverse. Yeah, don't judge. I'm one of the only few women in the world that have reverse and have the same span since I was in college. But my hand, I got no marks or nothing, so I think it's working. But that particularly, I think that year I changed to 5 steps, so I was having some struggles. Because that was the year that I was having pain in my hip, but it was from the kidney stones. So I had to change something. And I remember going to the pro shop back here in Ohio, and just telling them, well, I'm gonna try this because I'm feeling this. And sure enough, I went and won my last title. Since then, went back to my original span, but it was good to just figure something out in the middle of the season and actually come out with a win. And I actually competed pretty good for a long time with that change. It's just I started throwing it better after, so I feel like I don't need that forward pitch anymore. I can just go back, and because I try not to squeeze at all and just not feel anything it's weird. Like it's hard to describe how I feel because when I tell people, I just feel like I'm holding a an egg pretty much. I'm just thinking, oh, just throw it out there. And I guess maybe that's why my release is clean for the most part. But
Chris
yeah,
Barnes, same thing, right? Super tight, tucked, a little bit shorter span than they say, mega tight thumb hole, just let it go, right? And
yeah.
with your speed, your power, your athleticism, and how much you hook it, I mean, if you grab that, God, please don't
No,
go
it's
out
not
on the
good.
lane with the ball. Don't Blanchard us. We love you, Josh, but don't give us one of
Well,
those. That's why I took
yeah.
my thumb out. Believe it or not, I was scared to
All right.
poop about it. Oh yeah, that's why my ring finger still looks like a small country.
Final question: What is your
Sound of
what are your
silence?
favorite 3 balls of all time?
Ooh, the good question.
So I'm gonna have to go with this combo because I had so much success with them. IQ Tour. I don't have one currently in my arsenal, but when I used to throw them, I used to throw like 8 a year or 9 a year because I throw them so much that I'd like to keep like a fresh cover on them. Marble Pearl. Used to love the Marble Pearl. And High Road Pearl.
Mike Marcus, you heard it from Roe, brother. We all miss you. High Road Pearl. Heck yeah.
Those are 3 great balls.
3 pretty solid picks there, Rad Rob.
Especially the
I'm a
IQ
Brunswick
Tour.
guy, and those are solid picks.
No, me too. But I mean, that IQ Tour is all time great. Such a
I
good
feel
ball.
like the patterns anymore, obviously, like anything, they have changed and the technology has adjusted to whatever. So I don't see myself using them as much. But when they were good, they were on fire. Like
Yeah.
nothing else could beat them. And I found myself just winning and striking. And so, like, those for me were some of the best I ever drill. And I had multiples of them like every year.
Yeah.
Once they discontinued them, of course, oh, well, I guess I will add to that. I know it's 4, but the original Idol, was another
Oh
one of
yeah.
my favorites. But I'm one of those bowlers that actually love new equipment. I'm like when like Roto Grip comes out with a new bowl, I'm like maybe I'm gonna win because I just love how some technology, like the new technology, just gives you like a different shape um, than you probably had in the past. So I'm always willing to try some of the new stuff just because I'm like, well, I would like to see where this fits in my arsenal. So I don't try to just because they discontinue anything, like everything at some point. So I'm
Sure.
like, well, they're gonna make a better bowl in the future. But those 4 were some of my favorites of all times, and they actually lasted in my bag for a very long time as well.
What do you like right now?
So my Rockstar, I have a pin down Rockstar that I probably has. If we have all 160 games on tour, I probably thrown mine 120 of them with that ball. I have a 1 pin down, 1 pin up. I was super excited when they came out with the High Road 40, just because I love the High Road Pearl so much. And it reminds me of that, but with a ton more kick down the lane and overall just a stronger motion.
Sure.
I like the Ion Pro, the blue one, just because I feel like it's an improved version of how my IQ Tour was. I mean, it's too early to say that it's going to replace my IQ Tour, but I like the shape, and I actually bowled good with it at the US Open because I was missing that shape. So it's in my bag. I have 1 pin up and 1 pin down. And the gremlin is growing on me. It's too early to say that I love it, but I've thrown it decent enough the past 3 weeks that's been out, so I think it might have a chance to stay in my bag for quite a while. So those four balls I have thrown a lot this season. So
that's
I'm surprised you didn't throw an attention star. That seemed to be a very popular ball over the last year.
if
make
I'm
it
really
5,
honest,
Rob.
if I'm really honest with you, I'm probably one of those bowlers that can make some really good balls look bad sometimes. The refs tell me, please just put it aside and take it away. The attention star, I think I've thrown 4 of them, and I have yet to probably shoot more than 220 with
This
them.
doesn't match up with you, huh?
Really? That's
No.
funny. Yeah, that's
I get it. I get it. Look,
Yeah.
man, Rob, I get it.
There's
some balls that I love and everybody hates, and there's some balls that everybody loves, and I'm like, I just don't get it. Is something wrong with me?
Bro, I love my swamp monster. I don't care what you say about that ball. I don't care.
Eat you know what for saying that out loud again, Rob. Now I'm staring at you.
It's proactive, Johnny. Come on.
Yeah, circa
I don't
28
even know what
years
that
ago.
means. No,
That's
it was.
before Ro and I were in college, bro. And that ball stunk then. Can we let this fabulous person go? We've kept her long enough.
We can. Ro, we really appreciate
and
you being here.
I'll sign off for Ocho. He's taking care of Gabriella.
Yeah.
She had a long day today. And before Rob closes, Ro, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, great to connect with you again. Great to see you on TV again. Send the love to the baby and to Joe. Is the baby's name Riley? Am I wrong?
Sophia, and she has my.
I don't know why I said Riley. It was close.
She's Sophia Rowe.
Sophia. Well, you send all of the love from everybody that's known you and your beautiful family for all these years. Keep working your ass on the comeback trail, and you always have a spot here on our show. And thank you sincerely so much for being here. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I'm just gonna back up the same thing. We really appreciate you taking time out. I know you're super busy, and thank you for sharing your story, because I didn't know that about you, and that's really remarkable that you're able to pull through all of that. And I'm glad you're on the other side, and we didn't lose you, because that could have very easily happened. But thank you for being open and honest about that. And anytime you want to come back, we would love to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everyone that watches the show. I'm hoping that you guys got to learn a little bit more about me and my story. I don't get to share it much. I try to keep it kind of to myself, but thank you for this time and for this space just to share my life with you guys. I really appreciate you, Johnny and Rob, and John as well, for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Take
so much.
care. Good luck with the rest of the season. And we'll keep in touch with you. Thanks, Ro.
Sounds good.
Have a good night.
Thanks, you
Good night,
too.
girl.
All right. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Man, John. What a badass chick, right?
And if you just go back 20 years, she talks and acts and is the exact same person. And we love consistency. It's one of my biggest driving factors when it comes to the people that I keep close to me. And, you know, after watching her on TV and talking to you about her, it's like her and I picked up right where we left off, talking about bowling. I thought for sure she was going to bring up the Inferno line when it came to the favorite balls, just simply because she just destroyed them every single week in college. I'm watching her, I'm like, I have no chance at life ever again. Between her and Clara Guerrero at Wichita, it was a very exciting time in my life, and the fact that I can still call her a friend and she delivers that much really, really awesome, deep, real stuff to the entire community is awesome, dude.
That's why I love this show, man. I love this show for the things that we find out about people, and her story can inspire somebody else, just like Daria and Amanda and everybody else. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
just awesome stuff. And that wraps up our International Women's Month. We didn't actually plan on that theme, but we had 3 badass women the last 3 weeks, and to close out July.
And, Carolyn, if you're still watching, the legend Carolyn Doran Ballard, I'm hunting for you. We need you on here instantly. So
we do. And
somebody
we appreciate her.
call Carolyn, tell her to get my new number something.
We'll
Whatever.
work on that. And we appreciate her showing up every week too. So,
Heck
man,
yeah.
good stuff, dude. Sorry, Ocho had to take care of his daughter.
Life is all good. He's totally fine. Mrs. Ocho and young Gabriella, everybody is perfect here. We're gonna hop in that pool on this beautiful evening. I'm not gonna say the day was beautiful, but I'm gonna go hop in that pool and listen to some Sam Cooke and just chill for a little while now.
I love it. And don't forget about the Union County Fair, everybody.
Yes, I mean, obviously, this is our next destination.
We have to go there.
We need this.
That's
very,
a bucket
very much
list.
for everybody that wants to come out.
That's a bucket. We should have a community event there. We should just invite everybody from the show to come out there. Alumni, chat, everybody. Just
Yo, my hair is starting to dry. I gotta hop back in this pool, man. Look at this.
You gotta hit Georgia too, man. You need a cut there. You gotta see.
I do need a cut.
I do. We
Especially
didn't do a lot of interviews tonight, man.
My neck hair is connecting to my back hair, so we have to.
On that note, that wraps it up for another edition of Straight Up 5 with that guy, Johnny Petraglia Jr. We will see you guys back here next week. We appreciate you all. We love you all. And we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. You can follow the show on Twitter at Straight Up 5 Pod. Follow Johnny Jr. at JPJR07. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question for Johnny? Send your questions to straightup5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network.